Bucha, Ukraine, one woman was badly beaten and shot through the eye. Another, held captive by Russian soldiers, was found in a cellar, shot in the head. An 81-year-old grandmother was discovered hanging in her garden, perhaps killed, perhaps driven to suicide. They were 3 victims among hundreds during the Russian occupation of Bucha in the spring. Bucha, a suburb of Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, quickly became the main focus of atrocities by Russian soldiers before they withdrew from the area. The crimes gained worldwide attention. But these women were unknown, their deaths unseen and unexplained. My New York Times colleagues and I reported at the time on the Russian brutality and came across these cases. So we went back to Bucha, the place of so many deaths, to learn about these 3 women, to find out about their lives and who they were. Image volunteer cemetery workers loaded a large truck with 65 bodies found in April in Bucha. Credit: Daniel Berehulak for the New York Times. We found that each woman, in her own way, was a fighter, struggling to survive weeks of hunger, cold, bombardment and shooting, yet tragically vulnerable to the ruthless violence of an occupying army. Many of the circumstances of their last days remain unclear, but for their families and Ukrainian officials, there is no doubt that they were victims of Russia's aggression against their country. Belarus 30 miles Ukraine Bucha Kyiv Dnipro River Detail Area Ukraine A chance trip turns tragic. Oksana Salima, 34, was in Bucha only by chance. A former public servant, she lived in Kyiv with her 5-year-old daughter, but had visited Bucha to stay with friends only 48 hours before the war began in February. Within days, Russian troops had stormed the wooded suburb and roads and transport links had been cut. Oksana was stuck, said Alexei, a childhood friend, who asked that only his first name be used for privacy. She had grown up and lived much of her adult life in Bucha. Her grandmother lived in an apartment near the center of town. Oksana had moved to Kyiv only after divorcing her husband several years ago. She wanted to be closer to her parents, who helped look after her daughter. Her mother, Larisa Salima, agreed to provide a few details of Oksana's life for her to be remembered by. She was a very bright child, her mother said. She learned French during an exchange visit to France, completed a degree in sociology at the National Aviation University in Kyiv, and later worked at the Ministry of Infrastructure. She was very vivacious, her mother added. She shared photographs of her daughter on a beach in Crimea, where she used to vacation every year before Russia annexed the peninsula in 2014. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.